Just purely financially, it does not make any sense to prepay.
In some households, we know the EMI is almost 60% of the household take-home rate, right? In which case, I understand it's a lot of burden. If one of the people also lose their jobs, it becomes a big burden for the household to carry, and therefore they want to reduce that burden, and that's also a fair call. Prepay the home loan till the EMI is at a point where you are comfortable with that EMI amount.
You will be richer by 1.1 crore.
This is no one size fits all, folks. Okay, welcome to the channel, everyone. Today we have Anmol again. Anmol has been a part of the channel on multiple occasions, and today we are going to be talking about a topic which is something that keeps coming up at our workplace, and people keep discussing this, so we thought we'll share our point of view on it. The topic is around whether you should prepay your home loan or not. And what this really means is that imagine you get a lump sum and you're evaluating whether you want to put it in the equity markets, whether you want to put it in a debt instrument, whether you want to prepay your home loan. How should you evaluate it? What are the different aspects that you should think about before you make that decision? We hope to shed some light on that. We will cover this from two fronts. We'll talk about the financial implications of prepaying a home loan, and then we'll talk about the circumstantial implications, right? This is a very personal decision, varies by the person. So we want to talk about what are some of the circumstances where you're probably better off prepaying your home loan as opposed to not prepaying it, right? Welcome back, Anmol. It's good to have you back. Let's begin with the financial point of view here. How does that work out? And Anmol, over to you.
Sure. I'll share the calculation in a while, but telling you upfront that just purely financially, it does not make any sense to prepay, because if you are investing in, let's say, equity or any other instrument which is giving higher interest than your home loan interest rate, higher returns than your home loan interest rate, you might be better off not prepaying and keep paying your EMIs over the entire period. So I've taken two examples here. So the first example is that in the case where you are not prepaying, so let me just quickly take you through the assumptions first. So this sheet tells you what is the average home loan interest rate, and I've taken it on the higher side right now at 8.5%. The second is what is the loan amount that you have taken. So imagine that the overall price of the house was 4 crores. You have paid 1 crore upfront and 3 crore is on loan right now.
Outstanding.
The outstanding to begin with. The second is what is my liquid saving. That is, I also had, let's say, 3 crores in my bank right now. I did not want to put everything in the house right now. So I put only 1 crore out of that and I have 3 crore remaining. These numbers are the same, but they have no correlation. Just to be clear. The second is the overall tenure is 240 months, that is 20 years, and equity return rate is around 14%, which again I have taken it at slightly conservative. So these are all starting values, right? Starting 3 crores, starting 240 months.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So now what this tells you is that this is months, so month over month what is happening. So this is the installment, 2,60,000. This is the interest part that you are paying in that month. This is the principal part that you are paying in that month. So the sum is 2,000. And as you know that, initially you pay more interest and later you repay your principal more. And that is what is happening over here. And this tells you the remaining principal amount. Now on top of that, what I have done is that to begin with, you have 3 crore rupees in your bank, and it increases every month because you have put in an equity, for example, or mutual funds. And minus that is the total amount that you have at the end of the month, minus the EMI is the total amount that you have at the end of the month. So this is this minus 2.6 lakhs. And this keeps happening month over month. And let's say at the end of third month, at the end of third year, the starting of the fourth year, that is 37th month, you got 20,000 rupees of bonus. You chose not to
20 lakhs.
20 lakh rupees bonus. You chose not to prepay. So your money in the bank goes up by 20 lakh rupees, right? So that is scenario one. And obviously you start earning equity on this, and assuming that you invested this 20 lakh as well, you will start earning you'll start getting the returns, the equity returns on this 20 lakh as well, on top of whatever you have till then, right? In the second scenario, everything else remains the same. But in the 37th month, things change a bit, where you are not putting this into mutual funds, or you are not investing this. You are instead prepaying this. So instead of 2.6 lakh, you are prepaying 22.6 lakh. And on the whatever amount you have, you keep getting the equity return minus the EMI every month. At the end of 20 years, let's see what happens. So you end up paying in the second scenario for only 17.8 years, not the entire 20 years. Your overall outflow is also lower, but you have paid that in lower number of years. Hence, at the end of 20 years, in scenario 1, you will be left with 16 crores, but in scenario 2, you will be left with 15 crores only. So, if you do not prepay that 20 lakh, you will be richer by 1.1 crores at the end of 20 years. So, if you had made that decision in the 4th year, at the end of 20th year, you will be richer by 1.1 crores. Now, reduce that 10% tax from this as well, but it won't make a lot of difference.
So one quick question, outflow in the D column, that is 50. So in scenario 2, you're basically paying almost, how much is that? 60 lakh rupees lesser interest, right?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Almost, like that 6.2 crores is the outflow in scenario 1, 5.67 crores broadly is the outflow in scenario 2. So 50-60 lakh rupees interest is you're paying lesser. So, but the equity component where you have invested that 20 lakhs has grown by a lot more, and that's why the extra amount at the end of 20 years in your bank is 1.1 crores, right? So is that a fair understanding?
Yeah. So because you invested that 20 lakh amount for more period of time, that's why this delta of 1.1.
Got it. I think this is very clear. Obviously these amounts are all fictional. 3 crores house, 3 crores savings. So what we'll do is we'll share this Google Sheets in the description below, in the comment below. You can use that as a reference for your own calculations, for your own financials. How much is your house for? How much savings do you have? How much lump sum do you have? At what point in month do you have it? And play around with it and see what makes more sense for you. Broadly, what Anmol is alluding to is that the opportunity cost of not investing in equity is higher.
Right. So I'll put it simply this way, right? The rule of thumb is that the bonus amount, the lump sum amount that you have got, if you feel that you will be able to put that in an investment or in a vehicle where you are going to get more return than the housing loan interest rate, then please don't prepay. If you feel that you won't be able to, in whatever time horizon you have, you won't be able to get as much return from that, then definitely do prepay.
We thought we'll also talk a little bit about circumstantial, because this is a very personal decision for people. What are some of the circumstances where people actually pay this loan off, prepay it, and when does it probably make sense for them to do it? Anmol, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, see, I think that let's say you get this 20 lakh rupees from somewhere, right? But currently your circumstances are that, let's say you have only 4-5 years of tenure remaining, right? You're not very sure whether this 20 lakh rupees is going to give you like 8%, 9%, 10%. Maybe you are going to put that in debt fund because you want liquidity right now because of whatever circumstances you have. You want to pay for a wedding, you want to pay for your kids' education, maybe they're going to college, or there can be multiple reasons, right? Where you think that you will invest this money, pull out this money, and in that period you won't get as much, you will get lesser than that 8.59%. Then probably in that scenario it doesn't make sense to not prepay. You should prepay and reduce the overall burden on yourself, either by reducing the number of years or by reducing the EMI itself, and keep paying for the entire duration.
Yeah, so what you're saying basically is that if the time period for this 20 lakh rupees, assuming you have 20 lakh rupees lump sum, is less than 5 years, you need that money in 3-4 years, then it probably doesn't make sense to put it in the market. You're better off sort of paying that loan off.
Yeah, correct. And even if you just tweak around with the Excel sheet that I presented, if it was just last 5 years, the delta also will not be that much, not like 1.1 crores.
So then the second scenario becomes that if you're closer to the end date of your loan tenure, then maybe prepaying it is a good idea, because the difference that you'll make in the opportunity cost of equity will not be as high.
Correct. And the peace of mind will be higher because you would have paid the entire amount.
I think you touch upon peace of mind, which is a very important aspect when it comes to loans, right? Especially home loans, because the amount is so big, the EMI is so big. I want to just talk a little bit about that because I actually have a home loan as well, and I know the feeling. More than me, it's actually my wife who knows the feeling, who wants to get this monkey off our back. I think that's the other big reason why people prepay that loan, because they want to get the monkey off their back. They're like, I want to prepay this sooner. I don't want a 30-year-old loan. I want to get rid of this in the next 8 years. But that's what we're trying to show, that while we feel that emotionally you'll obviously feel a lot lighter and you'll feel a lot better, financially it might not make all the sense. So if you can overcome your emotions and take the slightly logical financial decision if your circumstances allow you to, which means you probably need, if the quantum of the EMI is not too big. For example, in some households we know the EMI is almost 60% of the household take home rate, right? In which case I understand it's a lot of burden. If one of the people also lose their jobs, it becomes a big burden for the household to carry, and therefore they want to reduce that burden. And that's also a fair call, that you pay the EMI, you prepay the home loan till the EMI is at a point where you are comfortable with that EMI amount, and then you're like, okay, now I can sustain this for the long term. So that's another approach to think about.
Yeah, Pranay, that's a very valid point. In fact, I've been paying my EMIs as well, and when it goes from your regular cash flow, it hurts. While again, it might not be financially right or logically the right decision, but it hurts. So emotionally, I think you should equate both of these and definitely make that decision. So I've given, we have in black and white what is the financial one and emotional one. We are quoting a few examples, and obviously everyone would have different circumstances. One more circumstance could be, if you are planning to retire in the next few years, and you again want to get this monkey off your back, and you've gotten a lump sum, and maybe you think that you will not invest for a long time, or maybe you think that you won't have the discipline to invest because things might change drastically once you retire. So in that scenario also, probably it's the best decision to prepay whenever you get a lump sum amount.
लेकिन अगर ऐसे सोच तो वो 20 लाख रुपए तेरे ओवरऑल एसेट एलोकेशन में, जैसे मेरे घर में क्या हो रहा है, मेरे घर में लमसम आया है जो एक पुरानी FDX मैच्योर हुई है. अब मेरे ओवरऑल एसेट एलोकेशन में मेरा इक्विटी डेट अगर ऑलरेडी 70-30 है, और वो उस अमाउंट वो जो FD मैच्योर हुई है उससे मेरा अगर मैं उसको इक्विटी में डालता हूँ तो वो एसेट एलोकेशन में इक्विटी बहुत वो ज़्यादा हो जाएगी और मैं उसमें नहीं खुश हूँ. Then instead of investing in debt, which will give me, while there are benefits that it will give me liquidity, that debt will give me liquidity, I'll have that money if I need it tomorrow, and in this case it's gone. But if I don't need that money in the next 4-5 years, then maybe I'm better off investing it in this thing, because in a way I'm saving 8.5%, right? Yeah, that probably brings us to the end of this discussion. This is no one size fits all, folks. So unfortunately we can't give you an answer that, hey, this is what it is, but we've tried to present two sides, right? The financial side, the Excel sheet is with you in the description, play around with it, see what makes sense for you. And the second is your circumstance, your life plans, your financial goals, your time horizon, basis which you have to take your own call, which is the entire circumstantial bit. Tell us what your strategy is and how do you do this in the comment section below. Even we'd love to hear from you on what are you going to do about your home loans. Are you going to prepay them? Are you not going to prepay them? If you have any questions for us, do drop them in the comment section. And yes, if you found this video helpful, please like it, share it with as many people as you can so that they can also use the Excel sheet and hopefully make the most of this. Thank you, Anmol, for joining us again today on this sunny Saturday. And we'll see you in the next one.
I was saying thank you for getting me again. It was a pleasure, as always, discussing these things with you outside of office.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. See you in the next one. Bye.